Namaste, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across the planet, around the world. My name is Gregg Prescott from in5d.com, and you're tuned into another Spirit Chat. And tonight we're going to be talking about past lives. And don't worry, if you've never had a past life regression or can't remember any of your past lives, well, I'm going to show you how you can have one perhaps as quickly as tonight. I just premiered a new video called, what is it called? 13 Signs That You're Ready for the New Earth. And it came out really well. I'm going to try to make at least one of these kind of videos every week. They do take a lot of time. The editing is probably the hardest part. There's a lot that goes into the editing, but I really enjoy making these videos, and I think it's time to get them out there. So yeah, at least once a week, I'll be premiering at least one of those videos. So make sure, if you haven't already, to subscribe to this YouTube channel, in5d. Been also a little bit busy on Instagram, been getting more visible on there as well. Mainly because of how badly YouTube and Facebook are shadow banning me. It's not just me. You guys are getting the same thing too. I mean, we're all getting shadow banned now. But I can actually go back into 2013 because I would go live. I would do live videos on Facebook, and I would get like 20, 30,000 views, anywhere between 10 and 30,000 views on live videos. And then all of a sudden, phew, so I can tell exactly when they started shadow banning, at least shadow banning me. I've got what, 400,000 followers on on Facebook, and it's hard to reach 300 of them nowadays. But you know what that tells me? And if you're being shadow banned, you're in the same boat. That tells me we're all over the target. And that's what leads me to this. I did a post, a live video on Instagram earlier, and this is basically what I kind of covered. You guys know how, like, at the end of a lot of my videos, I'll say this: you are loved, you are appreciated, thank you for your service to humanity. Those aren't just idle words. You are loved. If everybody on this planet hated you, you're still loved. You have guides and angels. You have a whole posse behind you that loves you. And there's a lot of people that love you. Don't feel like you're ever alone. I know it can feel lonely at times, especially on your journey. When you see all these people that are not awakened and you've already gone down that rabbit hole, you can't go back. You can't go back to the way life used to be once you've gone down that rabbit hole. And it can get lonely. But there are others out there like me and everybody that you see here on the in5d YouTube channel. There's plenty of us out there. So find your tribe. Now's the time. Find people to love. You are loved. You are also appreciated. Many of us are beacons of light. Some of us, there are those people out there that work in the shadows for truth, love, and light. I call them beacons of light. They naturally get it, and they send out this beacon of love. Nobody has to know about it. They just do it. They're anchoring that energy of love wherever they are. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You are appreciated. And thank you to all of you for your service to humanity. Whatever ways we're doing it, each and every one of you has their own little ways that you do things, but we're all making this world a better place. And that's the ultimate goal, to make this world a better place for all of us. So thank you, everyone. And on that note, that was quick. Usually I go on for a little longer, but we have lots of people that are waiting in the waiting room. I'm going to let y'all in. And the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bam. Come on in. Water's fine. So tonight's topic is past lives. And I'll lead it off. So let's see. We got Rob and Linda, Gypsy. People are trying to connect right now. I see Phil there. Marejo's in the waiting room. So yeah, on on Facebook or on YouTube, it looks like just me, but there are people filing in here. Let me, thank you, Phil, for the super chat. Appreciate that, brother. I'm going to post a link too in the chat room, because this is going to be fun. It's a fun thing to do, talking about past lives. Now, okay. Yeah. Hey, hi to up 3 as well. See you there in chat. And Rachel. There's Phil and Marejo.
I'm not camera worthy, but those shirts are. I'm so excited.
Wow. You got your shirts.
Yeah, I'm wearing the very first one I got. I'm wearing it. So
Well, that's awesome.
I'll be down.
The camera does not do it justice at all. The colors are so, I'm so in love with them. I can't tell you. I had them all laying out on my bed, and I thought the only way to get them all was to show my entire bedroom. It's like, nope. So it's kind of at my workstation here. I thought, okay, they can sit like that. I don't think you can see them all, but anyway, I'm just grateful. I'll be quiet. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. And you probably got a lot of sand on your bed.
I tried to save as much as I could in the bags, but yeah, saved the bed, my car, my shirt, whatever I was on, whatever, my purse. I carried him in the house, and yeah,
that's my thing now. I make sure that all the shirts get sprinkled with sand and spread the siesta key quartz crystal everywhere, right?
Yeah, I look real close at it. It's like, oh, they really are tiny little crystals. It's just amazing to me.
Yeah, it's magical.
And I have good eyesight, so it wasn't my eyes playing tricks on me. So anyway, I just love these shirts. I thought,
thank you.
Yeah, I can't wait to wear them all. I have enough for one every day of the weekend, a couple for laundry day. I got it.
Are you supposed to give one to your sister?
Maybe. Oh, yes.
Maybe.
I'll let her pick if she wants. I don't know. There's a couple that I think I might hide. I don't know. She might just pick from 2 or 3.
Right?
That was a bad thing that just happened.
That's funny.
Where the hell did my glasses go? Here they are.
Well, I wish
so.
Colors better. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's jump into it. Tonight's topic is past lives. I'll lead off. And I've had 3 past lives. The first one was that I can remember was in Atlantis. And at the time it was when Atlantis was flourishing. And I was an artist. I did sculptures, I did paintings, and I made all these beautiful works of art. And it was a wonderful time to be around and alive in Atlantis. My next past life was at the end of Atlantis. And I have a feeling that many of us were Atlanteans at one point. But the second time, I was a scientist in charge of the genetic modification of plants, animals, and insects. And I made some really, really hideous creatures. And it wasn't good. And Allie was with me at that time. So She was with me at the end of Atlantis. Yeah. And as you guys know, we've all been the best of the best and the worst of the worst in our past lives. So that wasn't a very good one for me. And I'm sure I've had a lot worse than that, but that wasn't good. Michelle Noel Creation says tie-dye hoarding. Right.
Courting. Yeah.
That's funny. And my most recent one, and I already put a link in the live chat for a free MP3 that will trigger a past life regression. I swear I've only done this one time. And that one time that I did this is my past life regression. I'll do a screen share on this. Bear with me. Where's the screen I want to share? Oh, here it is, I think. Well, that's not it. Bear with me. There it is, MP3. Okay, that one, share. Okay, so this is the free MP3 past life regression self hypnosis. And you can download it, or you can play it right here. There's a play button, and you can play it. It's a 30-minute MP3. Don't listen to it while you're driving, needless to say. But yeah, this was my past life that I got from this specific MP3. I was a Mayan elder who was being forced into Christianity after the Spanish Inquisition. There was a Christian celebration going on in my homeland, which looked similar to an area around Belize. Could have been Guatemala, I'm not sure. Very tropical with beautiful blue waters. There were Mayan glyphs all around that were broken and tattered. I wanted the Christians to include these glyphs in their celebration, but they were only focused on transforming the remainder of my people to Christianity. They threatened to kill me if I didn't convert to Christianity. The only reason I didn't fight the Christians was because I knew the children needed to preserve our traditions without the Christians knowing about it. So I lied about agreeing to convert. Without the Christians knowing, I planned on teaching the children and great-grandchildren, grandchildren, all of them, teaching the children of our clan our traditions and values, not the Christian ones. So, and flash forward to this lifetime. Ever since I was a child, I had the EBGBs every time I go into church. Couldn't figure out why. There it is. So, yeah, being threatened by the Christians, being, to kill me if I didn't convert. And here's the irony. I'm 1/4 Spanish from Spain. Pretty deep. So yeah, that was my past life. If anyone wants to jump in and share theirs.
Sure, I can do that.
Yeah, it's all you, Phil.
Okay. First time I went did anything about past lives was I had here on my property. I created a sweat lodge, and I went in there alone, and I forget how many stones I had in there, but it was way hot. I was but I forced myself to stay in there, and I got a vision of myself as a 10 to 12 foot tall dog man. I'll just call it that, looking like black,
Anubis.
Anubis, right?
Yeah.
And I was the champion of the queen, and led many battles. But I would get into a rage, and I'm swinging a big ass sword. And when I go, I sometimes nick or kill my own soldiers that
Wow.
were following me. And so they kind of got tired of that and took me out one night after a victory party, I guess, or something. Anyway, I fell asleep and they attacked me in my sleep. And that was the end of that lifetime.
How long ago was that? What would you place the date on that approximately?
I'm not even sure I can place the planet on that.
Wow.
But if it's on this planet, I'm going to put it back in the Zep-Tepi times. So we're talking 75,000 years or older.
Wow.
75,000, yeah. So,
Mhm.
and
Wow.
the next lifetime that came out of that vision quest was a time when I was a blacksmith, and then this was I believe in England. I can remember forests and my stone forge, and it was during the witch burning times, I'm going to say that period of time. And I was part of a coven. The love of my life was the high priestess of that coven. And I was working in the forge, and I saw the priest come through. Well, the Inquisitioners came through.
Oh, wow.
And of course, they kind of eyed me funnily because, you know, I'm a smith, a blacksmith, so I'm working with making metal things, right?
Mhm.
And but I know I was really careful not to any of the symbology that I made for the coven. I didn't keep in the forge or anything like that. I didn't. It was, you know, I realized what we were doing was perilous and took precautions. So, you know, they went through my forge and didn't find anything. And fortunately, I knew enough of the Christian faith to, you know, say the right words and not say the wrong words. And they went on. But somebody came to me later and said that somebody had reported my lady, the high priestess. So I gathered my weapons and went to take them out, but I didn't get there in time. So I killed as many as I could and burned the rest. I tried to kill them all. Actually, I did kill them all, I think. But, you know, I sort of died in the process there.
Wow.
So, yeah.
It shows you that, you know, we've all been the best of the best and the worst of the worst. And we've probably been worse than that.
Well, I mean, I've done another regression. So, okay, I think I'll go to the quantum because you did that video with
Dolores.
Cannon, and so I had the QHHT session, and in
Mhm.
that one, the first thing that I went to was an elemental. It was a fire elemental, a green fire elemental.
Okay.
And that my task was to awaken the trees in spring. So I just kind of traveled around the world, you know, in springtime, and summer. I was the only times is I'd take a break like in the winters and go to the sun to kind of rejuvenate.
Mhm.
So, but there came a time when it was nothing I could do would save the trees, and I just kind of yeah, I got really sad. Started crying during the session.
That's a really cool. That's a really cool lifetime.
And then so
Surprising. Yeah.
she progressed me to another one because I talked about the portals within the suns. Actually, it was during that going to the sun, and then the entity talked about the portals in the sun, and she said, "Well, can we go through one of those portals?" And so we did, and I went into another lifetime I had as a kind of a Ganesh figure.
Okay.
Only in this particular race is that they had it had three genders, so you could be a male, a female, or a sort of like a hermaphrodite, but you actually just you attained a youthful appearance. Didn't go either way, right? You just kind of stayed in that one state before you decided which state you were going to go. And I had done that, and I was a singer. And
You were what?
a singer.
Singer.
Well, a spiritual singer, kind of like a light language singer.
Sing us a couple songs then.
Oh, okay. Hold on.
I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just messing with you.
Patate cochocheto malulu tatu kampalase muteashe. That's part of the song anyway.
That's awesome. So you actually remember some of that.
Yeah, some of it. I mean, it's and this is kind of why I've because I was working with those languages. I think this is why I can, and then when that would happen, it kind of activated my light language now. So,
Mhm.
and yeah, I'm working on being able to understand it more now. So yeah, I've had those. I've also remember lifetimes from being with Yara, where we were in the Viking period. So this would have been about 740, I think, to 850. And Norway, I believe, is the place. And so I was a farmer. One lifetime, I was a pirate or warrior or Viking, if you will, a raider or a trader, depending on who I was dealing with. I raided the English coast a lot. Basically, we were at war with the Christians because of Charlemagne.
Mm.
So, it was kind of like false fair and love and war. So we, go in and steal all the gold, kill all the priests, take all their chickens and whatnot, and back we go, or we might go and trade the gold in for some things that we knew our ladies would like, and that's kind of what we did. It was a seasonal job, but we sometimes the young ones wouldn't come back, and so I did that for, I think I was I mean, I worked my way up. I was like a war chief, right? I had boats underneath me. So but I wasn't quite what you would call a king.
Mm-hmm.
And the one time I kind of tried to become the king, I got a fatal wound and I managed to make it back to Yara, and she gave me the traditional send off.
What do you mean the traditional send off?
She put me in my ship and they set it out to sea and set it afire.
Wow.
So I went down. That was,
Yara did that to you.
right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was her duty. I mean, that was her right.
Wow.
I was her mate. I was her husband, if you will. Or well, I mean, as we did it, and then it wasn't like we had like a ring or any of that bullshit going on. But she had to continue on, yeah, and I passed. Well, like in my 30s, late 30s. Yeah, so that's the ones that I remember.
That's a lot of past lives. That's awesome.
Well, that's not all of them.
No. That's only the tip of the iceberg for many of us.
Yeah, no, I haven't even touched on the ones on the other ones on off worlds. I mean, I am beginning to remember being a captain of a battle cruiser, a star cruiser, in the Orion Wars. And I believe that our ship was actually brought down here on Earth at the time. It was because the battle was here too. It was all throughout the Orion anomaly, or nebula as they call it. So yeah, I mean, I've been around.
It didn't sound good. It makes you sound like a whore.
Well, I don't know about that. I might have. I mean, I was pretty a lusty, and not too sure how faithful I was. I think I might have partaken of women as in the battle. That's
right.
Sometimes that happened. I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, I'm not saying I was a good Viking. I said I was a pirate.
Yeah, well, pirates do what pirates do, right?
Yeah, I do remember. Actually, I do remember one other that wasn't. That one was just kind of it just came to me, and I was was living in the either northern France or southern Germany, I believe. My father had a horse ranch, and he supplied horses for the Roman legions, and that got me a kind of like a centurion, kind of because I was brought all these horses, and I could. So he sent me in with the horses, and I got a position. But I left behind a priestess. I don't think it was Yara this time. I'm not sure who that one was. I haven't met her yet, or if I have, maybe that would have been one of my ex-wives. But anyway, left her at this temple. I built a temple there for her to Epona, and but I left her there, to go off to be the centurion, do the thing with the Roman legions and riches, fame, and all that stuff, right? Well, I was going through the woods in France, and she sent an image of her. So I pulled up my horse and stopped, and there was a rebel or whatever that shot an arrow and hit me right directly in the throat.
Wow.
And that was the end of that life. So
That's a
mostly I
shitty way
get
to
to know
die.
how I died.
Right. Yeah. Die on a fiery boat. An arrow
Oh
through.
no, I was dead on that one. Then I was just.
Oh, okay.
No, I was already, I was dead. I had infections. It was just, it was
Yeah.
that was my last battle. But, hey, I did die of battle wounds, so I got the hero's send off.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing those with us, Bill. It's awesome that you have such an amazing recollection of your previous lives.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's I don't know. You get opened up, and then things like that happen, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You knock on the doors of perception, and sometimes you perceive.
Real quick, I want to say hi to everyone that's joined us in the live chat. We have Up3 and Rachel, Michelle, Noel Creations, Frankie G, Tammy T, Propis Soma. I went to a past life regression therapist and I wound up seeing a future life instead. Wow, that's pretty cool. Tammy says I have been having dreams about past lives. However, not much info coming through. Frankie's saying that she had a past life that she remembers. One was in France and she was a farmer in the 1800s. Two, a child being experimented on in the 1940s. And three, Japanese war pilot, 1930, also a merchant in 900 AD in Egypt. So yeah, that's another one that, a number of past lives recall. That's awesome. Hi to Lord Seth Vega. Well, Frankie said, my current regression was not good and it made me ill to my stomach. I was a pedo. Oh, wow. Wow, that's pretty deep. Yeah, okay, so hang on, I kind of got lost here. Okay, so hi to Selma, Elaine. That's right. Elena. Hi, Elena.
Hey,
And
Elena.
Reborn. Someone said I had a past life when I was a madam in the Old West. I had girls working for me in rooms upstairs from a saloon. I was horrified by that one, but it explains my love of all things Old West. Very cool. Reborn says my hair's cool. Thank you. I'm just grateful at my age I have hair.
Yeah, so am I.
Right. Lord Seth says I was someone like Darth Vader. It just went dark. Yeah. Hey, Christina. Christina joined. She was with us in the I did a premiere earlier tonight, the 13 signs you're ready for the new earth, and Christina was in the live chat. So thank you, Christina. Michelle Noel Creation says Phil has a warrior soul.
Yeah, I did a thing where I went and reviewed. It was a thing from James Tiburon. He went to this progression where you were like in the center with a table around.
Mm-hmm.
And basically they were lined up: warrior, priest, warrior, priest, warrior,
Oh,
priest,
wow.
blacksmith, warrior, priest. It's like
Take your choice: warrior, priest, or blacksmith.
I've been probably been other things. I mean,
Right.
That one I haven't remembered though. I've just been told about.
So hey, Vera, what's up? Do you have any past lives you'd like to share?
Well, I don't actually recall, but I do know I have big connections with Celtic life, with the Celtic energies,
Uh-huh.
Native American, probably also because I have also an extreme love for didgeridoos.
Extreme love for what?
Didgeridoos.
Oh,
Oh,
I have one. It was made for me from like a forest person, street person, whatever, some young hippies, I don't know, in New Mexico, in Silver City. I had, there's my cat. Hi, Kika. She's got to inspect.
Like, hey, I dig these shirts.
Yeah, she likes them. She's like, what are you doing over there? You set this up for me, right? Anyway, I had this little cafe. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but at the end of the night, every night, my little restaurant, whatever I had left over in the way of soups or sandwiches, I would just give to these people because they were cool. They were cool people, and they would come in anyway. So they gave me a didgeridoo that they made as a gift. I thought that was very cool. That's all I want to say. Thanks.
That's cool. That is cool. Here's one. I'm reading in the chat. Free Life says, I was a squirrel rider in heaven. And then he goes, writer, scroll writer.
Scroll writer. Oh,
Squirrel rider to scroll writer. That was good. Thank you. Thanks for the laugh. That was funny. Thank you. Yeah. So hi, Linda.
Hello.
Hi, Linda.
I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Linda in the chat, she said, I have not had recall of past lives. She had one QHHT session that took her to the 1920s. Been told that you had lives as a loved and reveled native healer in the USA. Been through the Orion War. So
Revered.
Can't
spell and type right now.
So you said that you have not had recall of past lives, but that's what other people have told you.
Yeah, I had the one QHT.
Right.
It was really uncomfortable. My body it was really weird.
What was uncomfortable about it?
I don't know. My body was I couldn't get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing just before that session, Dolores Cannon, somebody channeled or whatever, said there was new techniques. Don't try to keep your client under, let them come out. And I was going, okay, I don't think this practitioner had seen that. I don't know. It was just.
Yeah. No.
But I still have the little angel wings that I picked up on the ground going into that session.
Oh wow. Yeah. Well, that's got to have some meaning to it, right?
Yeah, it's
And these lives that you were told about being a healer and the Orion Wars and stuff.
Yeah.
How does that feel to you? Does that resonate with you as the truth? Do you feel that?
Yeah, I think so. And Egypt and the pyramids, and I've got Egyptian toes. And I used to think that was a good thing. Now I'm not so sure if being an Egyptian was. I don't know.
No, okay, so there was a period during Set where things weren't too good in Egypt, but they've been a very spiritual people since. Well, I think Thoth came and tamed him about 50,000 years ago. I think that was the actual first time of what we would call, I think that's when Atlantis was right in between the 75 and the 50,000 year period, right in there, not this 12,000 year period. I think that's a whole different history there that we don't have any clue about.
Yeah, I've been told I had lives around Greece, and I starved to death in one life. And yeah, probably choke. I can't stand wearing turtlenecks or things around my neck, and
Yeah, me too.
Bill, I was wondering about your vision problems. How is that tied to a past life?
Well, I might have poked a few men's eyes out.
Well, I was wondering if you got shot and maybe in the head or something like that.
You
You
know,
took an arrow in
I
the
don't
throat.
Yeah, no, that was but that was an arrow. I don't remember any bullet wounds actually.
Okay.
So I don't think, I think I was off world. Yeah. I think the last time I was on this planet before this incarnation would be, okay, so yeah, I'm being told it would be about 1600.
That's
But I was I was an Indian then,
uh
so I still wasn't using bullets.
that's about the last time during whenever the Spanish Inquisition was. I think it might have been like around that time. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Well, yeah, I know this was after the Inquisition time, I think.
That was
I mean, I don't know. You know, we try to put this in a linear fashion. I don't know that that's how it went. You know,
yeah.
I might have zip zapped.
Well, I'm curious. Yeah.
How that went. I went through all those lives. You know, that's I'm not going to say.
The one thing I do notice is that when I incarnate, I tend to incarnate during major epochs in time. You know, the Spanish Inquisition, the end of Atlantis, during Atlantis, you know, times where these are times where people need to be. And I don't know, it's almost as if I needed to, you know, somehow witness this, I guess, for some reason, be here. Something major is obviously going to happen in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Obviously, something big.
I think we all have been here so many times. These are, and we had to have all of those lives. You know, I don't have any personal memories, but I've been told many times that really do resonate within me about certain different lifestyles. Anyway, that kind of match some of these different lifetimes. But I would just want to say we had to have all of those experiences to bring us to this point. You know,
Yeah.
And I don't know. I've never had the desire to check into it because people come to me, you know, and I'm sorry, can I share a story? It's really cool, I think. I was in a spiritual group, one of them in Tucson, and this is probably in the late 90s. And I'd always my entire life had this one place in the middle of my back between my shoulder blades that it was just painful. There was nothing wrong. You know, there was just an ache there, constant. And the facilitator of this one group that I was with, I was also a Reiki master. And I had lots of experience with massage therapy and energy balancing. And so I got to assist in a lot of different places around Tucson. Anyway, and I talked to her about this. She did some one-on-one with me, and she pulled out like toothpick size pieces of wood sort of from the front of my chest one night. And then she had another night, I was laying on my stomach. She did like a full Reiki treatment with people around me holding my ankles, etc. And during that session, during that treatment, I felt an enormous pull from the back of me, from the middle of my back where that ache was. And I'd really never had any issues since then, honest to God. And during that, though, I saw four head to toe white robed entities, like just appear, two at my shoulders and two at my hips. And they kind of did some work. And that's when I felt that. And when I came out of it, it's like, I just wanted to share that. I don't, you know, and I haven't had any issues with that since. And she told me in the one-on-one that what happened was, in a previous lifetime, one of my siblings, there was only two of us actually, I was the eldest. And so I was to inherit the lands. And I was out riding one day, and I think we were both he's, set a trap, and I was impaled from the back. And that's what that was about. So that was leftover, you know, residue and stuff. Yeah, I have a few other stories, maybe not right now because I don't want to hog the time. Other stories about people psychics, or spiritual people that have told me what they see, when I go to psychic fairs or go to a new book opening or something. It's quite interesting. I've never had the desire to go seek it. However, in a few years, my son and I are going to go on an ayahuasca trip. So,
Oh, nice.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you'll have some past life experiences there, but they may not be the most pleasant ones.
Honestly, I have felt like I've spent decades, the last few decades, really looking at the balance of, because I work with energy so much and crystals so much, and that's just been my forte, I guess. And so, in massage therapy, it's not really massage therapy, it's energy balancing, so on and so forth. So, and so I everything that I experience, I bring it back home and say, okay, how am I creating this, and do I like it, or do I, in your last video tonight, Greg, your live video, I wrote down all of these 13 points, and it's like, okay, yeah, that's easy. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. The very last one was learning, let's see, I think it was, hang on, I got it right here. The last one was experiencing metaphysical abilities that were new to me. I think that's how you put it, basically.
Yes. Yes.
I don't really know that lately, because the things that I guess I would need some clarity on that, before I can claim or own anything. But the point is, there's a point to this. Hold on. Ties in with what we're doing right now. I think I have to be fearless, is what I'm saying. I can't let, because I had avoided ayahuasca for a long time. I've done mushrooms briefly, and it just was nothing. So I thought, okay, no big deal. I've done the bad stuff like LSD and experienced some, whatever. And I started smoking marijuana at 15 with big gaps, and I am a user because I finally found a strain that works for me best. I never wanted to do ayahuasca because I thought, I don't want to lose my mind. It's hard enough to hang on to it right now, sober on it.
That's a control issue, though. Wouldn't you agree? There's something about control.
Well, there you go. See?
Yeah.
So, and yeah, my son is, he's 44. He's incarcerated right now. He's taking care of business. He's a naughty boy. Drugs, anyway, so I'm gonna give him more. No, I'm just kidding. Ayahuasca, he's been sober for a while.
That'll cure him.
He's been sober for a while.
Well, it could, yeah.
And
especially if you tell the shaman about it at the beginning, he'll make sure it happens.
Well, this son, he and I are like soulmates, and it's just amazing. He's going to be 44, probably 46 when he comes home, and that's fine, and we'll still be. But he's all up for it. He goes, "Mom, that's exactly what we need," because he understands it's not a drug thing. It's not like an entertainment, like you're going out to party. It's a deep soul experience where I don't know. I've heard so many different, but it's taken me a decade to make this decision, because I don't do that lightly. I had my episode with drugs in my 20s and whatever, that's enough, but I don't want any of that. And I didn't really, so it's taken me that long to not only research ayahuasca, but also hear stories. And I haven't heard one negative or scary or anything.
I would do it.
I like that you said it's a control issue, and yes, I have control issues. Sure.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, it is a loss of control. Yeah, you have to you're forced to surrender.
Absolutely. I've been in letting go, what I consider a letting go process. I have, letting go. I've been in letting go for about a year now. So it's like I'm willing to let go, and I am letting go, and apparently I have a lot to let go of. Okay. Please. Thank you.
I did salvia divinorum with in my last relationship. I did salvia with the woman I was with, and we both took a huge hit of it, and I'm tripping my ass off. And I look over at her, and she's going like this. I thought she was swimming. I just start cracking up. I thought it was funny. but apparently she was like fighting off demons or something.
Yeah, wow.
no.
Here I am. I'm laughing at her because in my mind, there's like a little circus going on. I see everything as being funny, but you don't think about, what a lot of this stuff does is it magnifies your psyche.
Absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
If you have some issues going on,
Yeah.
you don't want to do that. And I'm not advocating anything, but for me, it's like, like I said, there's a little circus going on in my head. Everything's funny. I just laugh at everything. So when I do it, there's nothing going on in my head. Nothing.
Well, I had an older sister. She's 4 years older than me. And so when I was like 12 and 13 and 14, I saw her experiment with a lot of drugs, and she scared me quite a few times, So I was the youngest of five. I watched all my siblings. It's like, yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. So
In the last spirit chat, somebody was talking about was it micro dosing mushroom?
mushrooms,
Yeah, micro
I'd
dosing.
like to try that.
I would do that
I would do that. It's
if it
natural.
were legal.
Oh, it's not
Yeah,
legal.
well, that's the thing, right?
Well, dang.
I would never do anything that's not illegal.
Uh-huh. Right. Neither would I. No, I never have.
If it were, and if somebody knows
Well,
how
what
to
I
get
do now is not legal or not illegal anymore. So I'm
right,
good.
I'm a little
But maybe
behind.
the mushrooms. I guess that wouldn't be good. No, that would be illegal. I wouldn't have anything to do with those. No.
In the chat. I know. No.
No, mushrooms were illegal. I really didn't.
In the chat, Lord Seth said that his voice changed when he was under QHHT. That's cool. What else do we have here?
It's QHHT.
Quantum. What is?
Quantum hypnosis healing
Oh.
technique.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Dolores Cannon's.
Yeah.
Just
boy.
wanted to say I have over the last year or so done some experimenting with mushrooms that I hadn't done in years, and I don't know, it was weird. People I got them from was shocked that I wasn't getting,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then friends of mine just live a few blocks from me. They're herbalists,
Mhm.
and they make microdose pills.
Mm.
And
We're
yeah,
like,
I haven't had any in a while. I was
Where do you live?
put me to work and help. I'll make these things in exchange because money is just.
Where do you live?
I live in Calgary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hard to get mushrooms this time of the year in Calgary.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
No, really.
If you have the right connections, it's probably easier. But
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I guess, they say that they get them from cow pies.
Yeah.
So
Right. Well, that's the medium in which they grow. But you
Yeah.
can grow them inside.
I had neighbors in Washington, my next door neighbors, he had cows and I let him in my field all the time, the back like 3/4 acre because it was just field and let him eat, and there are cow pies everywhere and not one mushroom. So I don't believe it
Really?
anymore.
Well,
So sad. I tried.
yeah.
it depends, I guess, because I've found those mushrooms on cow pies around Washington.
I'll keep looking. I will keep looking anywhere.
Well, I don't know. It depends on where you are. I'm over in Western Washington, so that might make a difference.
That's where I was. I was in
Oh, really?
Yum. You know where Yum is?
Yeah, no,
That's where I was.
that should grow those mushrooms pretty well.
And I'm not advocating any of this stuff, but what I do appreciate is how that those kind of experiences show you that there's more than what we can perceive with our five senses. It
Right.
brings me to a place like Salvia brings me to a place that feels like home. It's just this other dimension that I feel really good there, really good. Yeah.
Yeah, these are the little happy pill microdosing things that, so I went over, he was gonna put me to work helping make these things.
Yep.
My first time, I had powder everywhere because I forgot to do this, not. He just put it all in a box and just put it away.
So I wonder if you're supposed to wear masks, or if you end up breathing that stuff, you end up getting a contact.
I don't wear masks. Never have.
Yeah, can't blame him. Yeah. So there's this on In5D. I want to show you guys this too. Let me do a screen share real quick. On In5D, where'd it go? Gosh darn it. Oh, there it is. Okay. This is a cool article. It's called Third Eye Mirror Meditation. What faces will you see? So what you do is you set up a mirror and you look into it. And what I do is the mirror is right in front of you. I mean, it's almost as if you're 1 foot away from yourself. I put a candle in front of me, so and the lights are off. It's just me, the candle, and the mirror. And you gaze into like your eyes or into your third eye area, and you just gaze and just relax and let it go. And what happens is, and this is how it's kind of tied into past lives, you'll see your face morph into all these different aspects of yourself. And it can be anything, man, woman, whatever. And it's really fascinating to see yourself
extraterrestrial
change it. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. You never know what you're going to get out of that. So maybe, because the topic is past lives, maybe that is showing us some of our past lives that we've had.
Future.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, I would think. And especially if that's with the intention that you went in with.
Yeah.
So
actually, when I do that, I don't think I've made any intention. I just relax and let it go and see where it leads me.
Well, your intention though is to see what's going to happen. You're open to the experience.
Yeah.
You have an intention to be open to the experience. If you don't have that intention, nothing will happen.
Yeah. Well, I was expecting something to happen, I guess. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Expecting it, and it happened. It's happened every time I've done that, as a matter of fact. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I've heard about that technique, and it is very strange. Yes.
In the chat, Susie is asking, how can I find out what my past lives have been? I put that article, Susie, in the chat for the free MP3, Past Life Regression Self-Hypnosis. So tonight when you go to sleep, listen to that when you fall asleep tonight and see what it does for you.
Hey, Greg, can you share that on Facebook by any chance, or in Messenger, so I can use it on my phone?
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have to keep my computer running while I sleep, and then I'll just be all weirded out about it in the morning.
Yep.
Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
Hey, Christina, you there? Why are you being all quiet? All right, mic's off.
For courage.
Oh, there you are.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Tell us about your past lives.
There are so many.
Bring it on.
Yeah, I mean, I only touched on a few, really.
Yeah, same here. We're interested.
Okay, I was able to connect two past lives. Well, what I thought were two past lives were actually the same. Let's see, or where do I start? Okay, so in 2015, you guys can hear me okay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't see you. We can hear you.
Oh, I can.
Yes, we can hear you. I thought I was muted.
There you are.
Okay.
Hey.
So in 2015, I did a past life regression with Eva Marquez. If you don't know her, she's a channeler, a Pleiadian, wonderful, beautiful being. And she told me that I had a past life with Jesus, being a teacher in Omran with the Essenes, and that she saw me with these scrolls, and I had the some kind of like wooden beads that I would use for math, and I used like a light energy to teach different people that were coming to the school. But what I find really fascinating is that when I did another QHHT session 2 years ago, is that I had this life where I was underground and I'm tall, a very tall being, but humanoid. To me, I felt like a hybrid, but I sensed that this was Egypt. And in this life, I was shown I was working with scrolls again. And I had this big wooden table, and I would move the scrolls mentally. Okay, I wouldn't touch them. And I would lay them out, and I would document different things in there. And I remember there being a light energy too that I utilized.
Mhm.
And I would put these scrolls up into these little cubbies. Now this room it was at least 20, 30 feet, big square room. And I felt like I was underground. And at the very top of the ceiling were little slits. And what I remember so clearly with this is looking up and seeing the sun come down through the slit, and that lit up the room for me. So I'm a very tall being, and I'm wearing plain robes, and I remember moving the scrolls, being connected to the scrolls, and I saw that I was having to travel with the scrolls. Okay.
Mhm.
I needed to move them from where I was. And I was connected. I had always been connected to the name Anuka. And I was shown that this life was particularly Anuka. And I was on an island in the middle of a river. And I felt like it was Egypt. And what I find really, really cool is that when I search for Anuka, Anukah,
Okay.
I found Anuka, Anuka, is another name for Anuket, the Egyptian goddess. And she was part of a triad on Elephantine, the island, which is on the Nile River. And so I saw myself moving these scrolls, and what I found recently with my research was that the scrolls on Elephantine are connected to the Dead Sea Scrolls, which are connected to the Essenes. Okay.
Mhm.
So these scrolls, scholars show that they're similar, right? And I know by my intuition, I remember traveling up the Nile and going through this big gate. And what I realized is this is Petra after I looked at the pictures. And I was so flabbergasted to see that Petra is actually in between Egypt and the Dead Sea, the Qumran.
Uh-huh.
But when I arrived at Petra, there were other people who looked like me. They were tall, big beings,
Mhm.
and of course there were the small humans. But when I went through the gate of Petra, there was like this source, like a mini sun. And you know how I love the sun, and I'm so connected to the sun from another past life. You know, we're all connected because we're all from source, right? But this was a peculiar energy. It was different. I didn't get like a benevolent feeling about this energy.
Hmm.
And I saw people who looked like me utilizing this energy, almost like feeding off of it. And so I remember not resonating with that, but I needed to go through Petra. That's where my people were from. And I really wanted just to teach and be connected to the scrolls. For some reason, the scrolls is like so ingrained in me. And And what I realized is that these scrolls I transported up to the Essenes. And the Essenes is, I was there, that being teaching the stuff that I knew, like the just light energy and loving energy and what we can do with sound and math and just being off of that source energy. And I just find it so amazing that I was able to connect what I thought were two different past lives were actually one. Another thing that's very interesting is Sumeria, the Anunnaki, right?
Hanukkah, right?
Right. They're tall beings. When they mated with the humans, what were those called? Like the Watchers, the Nephilim, things
The
like that.
Nephilim, yeah.
Yes, the Nephilim. So I was wondering if that was possibly what I was, and there was bad Nephilim utilizing something at Petra, but I didn't want to be part of that. I would just wanted to be, you know, I loved the humans. I cared for them, you know, and I just
Right,
find
I
that
get it.
fascinating that there are ties from Egypt, like some of the way the hieroglyphs are with ancient Sumeria. And if you look on the Earth map, they are so close to each other.
Yeah.
So I really believe that Egypt took some of that Sumerian, you know, culture and was off of that. So I find that really fascinating.
Yeah, very cool. Lots of detail in that. That's amazing.
Because I've been like really researching this past lives since like 2015, like and how I feel in my connection, you
Yeah.
know, and just to find all the little clues of it all coming together, you know.
Did you ever want to name your daughter Annika?
No.
No? That
I
would have been
named
a cool name.
I named my dog, and she's with me, and she's actually a white tiger. Her spirit is. She comes to me, and when she gets in the bed, she's actually looks like a white tiger, but she's a little pit bull brindle.
Mhm.
But I know what she is. She's a white tiger. But I named her Anu Pet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Which the veterinarians is like a new pet, like she's a brand new pet. I said no, Anu Pet. ANUPET.
A new pet. A new pet? No.
Yeah.
It's a goddess, damn it. Don't you know you're Egyptian goddesses? Come on.
I know that you mentioned like you're from Lyra and Pleiades, and where was the other place you mentioned?
The Apollo.
Oh,
Well,
you're
I
right.
took that.
Apollonia. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep being shown that I have ties to that too.
Uh-huh.
But back to the past life
Mhm.
with what Eva told me with Jesus was really fascinating because I did a QHHT last year with Nicole Frolick has the alchemy program, and within there they were doing QHHT, so I signed up for one, and it was with Christina, and she took me to the rings of Saturn. And I think I told you guys about this briefly in the Patreon chat about being taken to the rings of Saturn.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I like, you know, Superman's pod, like
Yep.
I was in a little pod and I went through the galaxy, and I remember coming down and circling around the rings, and then I ended up in what seemed like an ancient Grecian, like the big columns, the really big stone steps going into this room, and there is the long table, but instead of just humans, it's a bunch of different beings.
Mm-hmm.
And there in the center of the table is Jesus again. And he's like, yeah, hey, how are you again? You know, like just that connection. Like,
Are you
and then,
stalking me?
but what they were doing there on the rings
He
of
was
Saturn,
stalking you, right?
yeah, I don't know. I just know we're connected. I mean, we all are connected to him. We're all connected to the source. So, but what I find fascinating is I get to see him two different lives, and just to see that it was a council meeting, and I'm a very tall, kind of like the picture that you guys saw of my
Right.
avatar.
Yep.
But she's a really, really pearly blue, very, very the lightest shade of blue, almost white. and she had a crown on the back. Instead of the crown being traditionally up front, it was in the back of the head.
Okay.
So it wrapped around the back of my head, and there was like light and sparkles emitting from the back of it. And that's what I look like. So I don't know what type of being that was, just a really tall, like 9-foot, bluish white being, bald. I didn't have any hair, beautiful gown. And I was told by Yvonda that she saw me during one of my light language videos. She sent me a message on Instagram. She said, while I was watching your light language video, I saw a tall, light blue pearl being. She had a crown on the back of her head and a blue dress. And I was like, and she said, what I was shown was that particular life, you were an ambassador of some sort, but you were also a singer, that people would come to you and listen to your voice. And I got chills all through my body, because if anyone out there who has seen Fifth Element, there's the blue singer in the movie The Fifth Element with Bruce Willis. The first time I saw that as a young girl, I started to cry. I felt so connected to her singing on that stage, this beautiful blue being, that opera tone, and how she was just singing and how everyone's mesmerized by her song.
Yeah.
And now I know why, because I used to do the same thing, and I was a tall blue being, bald being.
Do you think the light language comes from one of these past lives that you've had, that you do?
I believe so, that they're still trying to bring that energy through me and share, like, especially when I do the singing with it, you know?
Yeah. Your sound sounds really good. I don't know what kind of microphone you're using, but
Moana, Maona.
Maona. Yeah, maybe I should recommend that to Allie. But yeah, it sounds really good. If you're going to do, like, videos with that, I assume that you are, right?
Yeah, I'm just starting to get my feet wet on my channel.
Have you had any
channel?
Christina Love, if you search my name but with the heart instead of the O, you can do Christina Love light language. It should come up. But
Okay.
Yeah, you should all be subscribed to that anyway, just like Phil's channel and obviously mine. What's wrong with you if you're not?
Well, because I didn't know she had one yet. Okay.
Settle down.
And I'm just
Give me a
lazy.
chance.
Sorry. I'll catch up. I'll subscribe. I promise.
Yeah.
I want to. I want to
Has
learn.
anyone had like a past life recently? I mean, in the last 100, 200 years?
Mhm.
Well, if you want to count forward, I had one.
Because I was wondering, how, all right, so you have a life here, you die, you go to the other side. I wonder how long it takes to recharge the batteries, to say, okay, I'm ready to go back in again. I would think after 100 years, you're like, nah, not yet. No, I don't want to go back there yet.
I think it depends on if you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish. You can go back right away, maybe. I mean, I think it takes time because, it's no time, not on Earth, but on Earth, it could take some years. I believe we walk around with, spend some time with families if we want to be with that couple or whatever, if it's going to fit whatever our agenda is. And for the record, I'm really, really attracted to like the pioneer days going across America. I have a lot of Native American interests as well. And just, I really, really feel connected. So I think if I did have a current one, it would be, in the late 1800s. I mean, somewhere around the 1800s, somewhere when they're coming out west,
So I'm wondering about, like Allie and me, when we were on the other side of the veil trying to agree on who's coming down first and where we're going to land and all this shit.
Mhm.
And I can see me like looking down, just saying, oh, I don't know if I'm ready to go in yet. And Allie's like, yeah, you are. Gives me a swift kick. There I go.
get in
Well,
there. I need you with
I-
me.
Right.
I don't know if this.
See you later, sucker.
Anyway, as to the times, Well, for one thing, once you die, there is no time.
That's true. Good point.
Second thing is you have a life review, and sometimes if you were a really bad person and really mean to people, that might take you some time.
But there is no time.
But there is no time. Right.
Well, Greg, you said something in the past 100 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, in fact, this I have to go back to when it started, but this was back when I was around 6, 7 years old. Started having dreams, and the first one, I didn't know anything about military uniforms and all that junk back then. But the first one, the thing was, I led myself in. It was in a wooded area, and I didn't see, the old machine gun nest over here, and I come up to go in and got gunned down. Now that was back, and that was World War I.
Wow.
Now
You came back quickly.
Now W2, the same thing again.
Really?
I was drawing pictures of Japanese Zeros and bombers and Wildcats and Corsairs on paper and junk like that, drawing them out, and the same thing happened again.
Wow.
I was on some. It was a beach landing, is what it was. And I got hit with another machine gun. And it was the Marine Corps then. It was the Marine Corps the second time. And what do I do when I turn 18? I joined the Marine Corps. Only this time it turned out different.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that has anything to do with, those are the main things right there.
Wow.
Now, night before last, I was shown something. Like I said, that dark place ain't empty. But I was trying to figure out what it was, and I never can remember what writings. But it looked like a headstone, and this thing was ancient.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't remember. I read it, but I can't remember exactly what it said. So I don't know. I'm not sure where I'm at this point in time. I know I'm still advancing. I'm still moving forward.
That's fascinating that you came back 3 times in 100 years.
Well, that's what I was,
Well, I did that.
things that they've never
But it
let
was-
me.
Yeah, no, you can do that. Like I said, there is that life review is kind of it can go quicker or long depending on how you want to deal with it. If you can handle it, you can come back within 5-10 years.
See, I could see, say I get hit by a bus tomorrow, and I die.
That makes a different story because that's unexpected.
Yeah.
That
But,
could be
my
pretty-
daughter's, say my daughter has a child. I might want to come back as the child just so I can be with her.
Yeah, it
Right.
does.
Right.
It does happen.
But I think what I'd end up doing, I'd probably stand on the other side of the veil and I'd haunt whoever tries to hit on Allie.
Oh, don't want her to have no happiness after you go. Oh, that's kind of mean.
I know. I'm just joking.
I definitely wouldn't do that to Yara. I would just, of course, it's kind of a hard to say who's going to last the longest between the two of us, right?
Yeah.
Even though she's younger, she's got issues too, so
Yeah.
it's the whole thing is that you just have to take every moment that you get and do the best you can with it.
Mm-hmm.
Try to be nice to people, be kind. That way that life review isn't all that bad. It goes pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like Dolores said too, forgive, that helps.
Oh, that helps a lot.
Karma. Yeah.
I mean, if you want to get rid of your karma, that's the first thing you got to do is forgive everybody else of theirs.
In the chat, Christina put a link to her YouTube channel. So if you guys love light language, Christina does a lot of great light language there. Phil does too.
I already had to subscribe to her.
Good. And like I said, Phil does light language too. So, be sure to check out Phil's channel. We all have channels, everyone. Subscribe to everyone's channels.
I don't have one.
Keep it in the family.
I have one.
Yes.
Subscribe to yours.
Actually, I do have a channel, but I haven't put anything on there in like 10 years. I don't even know. I was in the forest but I didn't know what I was doing. And I just like, okay, it sits there. Maybe
Okay.
whatever. Maybe I can pull it out of the, cobwebs. But I wanted to, I had something to say. Dang it. Someone once told me a long time ago that there was an energy shift. This is probably around, I don't even know. When I learned it, it was before the year 2000. However, I don't remember exactly when she said it was, but there was an energy shift and everybody's like karma was wiped away completely. And she reiterated that several times, like whatever karma you have is what you're creating right now, whether it's good or bad or whatever your perception of good and bad karma is, so.
Huh.
And that's kind of how I've lived from that moment. It's like, okay, that's easy. I don't have anything to worry about from the past, no matter what it is. Healing, it doesn't mean, but again, it's like, I don't intend to be an asshole. So excuse my language. And so I'm not, and I think if you're going to live that good life, the life of light and love, whatever, yeah, it doesn't even occur to me I can't say that that's not true. It didn't even occur to me that there's bad karma because I don't know, can we incur bad karma without even knowing what we're doing? Like, can we hurt people's feelings and that builds bad karma, even though we're not hurting somebody's feelings? Do you know?
Yeah, unintentionally, you can. Yeah, I'd imagine that's possible, but
That kind of gets
Isn't
into
it on the receiving
critical
end?
theory right there, though.
Excuse
Really,
me?
when you think about it.
What was that?
Critical race theory. You're guilty just because you're your color.
right?
Well, guilty by association does not make a guilty man.
Oh yeah,
True.
I agree with you,
I
but
mean,
that
they have
isn't what
more
they're
choice in
preaching.
associates. However, if you let something happen, they're doing it, then of course that would make you guilty by association, in my opinion. However,
Right.
if you know better, but if you don't know better, it's like that native, the guy comes along wanting him to convert to Christianity and tells him about Jesus and all this, and tells him if he doesn't get saved and all this, he's going to go to hell. And the native says, well, what would happen if he didn't tell me this? And he goes, well, I guess you wouldn't go to hell. And he goes, and why did you tell me? It's like, just leave it, So I don't know. It's
Right. Well, I mean, that old hell thing, that is definitely dogma.
Yep.
I agree.
So the only hell we've got is the one we create, and the only devil there is the one we are. So don't be a devil and don't create hell.
I know we're supposed to embrace our dark side. I mean, there has to be the balance because we live in this universe of.
We're supposed to integrate it and learn from it. It's the negative contrast is there to teach us stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that's what our negative side is, or our shadow side is. It's got lessons for it. Oftentimes it's got gifts that are hidden within the shadow.
Sure. One of my animal totems is Coyote, which is the trickster. And just about every time I trip myself up, I thank Coyote. Thank you, Coyote. Or, your little shit. I forgot.
So I can blame myself being a klutz on having a coyote shadow animal, spirit animal. I can blame that on a coyote. Okay.
That's one of you.
No, the idea is not to blame it on anything. You're supposed to take responsibility.
I'm a klutz. I can't help it.
So just own it.
All right. I own being a klutz.
Well, if you think about the Roadrunner and Coyote, the cartoons, he trips himself up all the time because he's just not learning his lesson. So the idea is learn your lesson. Come on already. So
Yes.
that's the way I look at it.
Stop buying from Acme. Yeah, if he's not wanting to buy from
illusions.
If he's got money, if he's got money to buy from Acme, he can buy from Acme. Why doesn't he just buy groceries?
You know,
Yeah, really. You're
Uh,
chasing this damn rabbit, and you could order chicken.
Right, right. Roadrunner. Yeah. He's got no meat on his bones anyway. So,
Right, he's gonna be all stringy and whatnot. I mean, come on.
well, have you seen coyotes? They don't have the best physical attributes. Long-legged, skinny,
Well,
bushy
that's because
tail.
they usually live in pretty
Desert.
deserty conditions.
yes.
Oh,
We're out in the middle of nowhere. Like in the upstate New York, they have them.
Well, actually, they're being forced into cities. They are coming into the city outskirts.
Mhm.
I've heard a few here, actually, in Arkansas. In the last, been here 6 months, 7 months. I've heard a few last
Mhm.
fall. Whatever.
Well, guys, I think we're out of past lives. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
Oh,
For
I can share something. I can share one. I went to a book fair. It was a new psychic book fair, and they had a little jewelry store and books. And I thought, oh, crystals, and that's my kind of place. I'm going to go to the opening. And there were people doing readings, and I wasn't really prepared financially or psychological, whatever. I wasn't prepared to get a reading. So, I was still in a place of, I'm not sure I want to hear. And I don't know that I believe 100%, but I'll go see. I was still learning. And anyway, and one woman called me into her room. She had these enormous crystals, and she just kind of, invited us in, didn't cost anything. Just, kind of stare at the crystals and kind of meditate. And I found myself in a whole different world, I'm telling you. Anyway, and afterwards she pulled me aside. She goes, I have something to tell you. I want to tell you about a past life. And I said, well, I didn't really come prepared to have a reading. And she goes, no, this is on the house. I really feel the need to tell you this. And she did. And she described me as a taller being, but not abnormally tall, just taller than I am in this life, which is like 5 foot nothing almost. Long blonde hair, and we had silver bands that went around our forehead with a crystal over our third eye. I had 3 sisters, and we all had special gifts. One had the gift of sight, in that she might say, oh, you know what? I think there's going to be a disaster over at this such and such farm in the next couple of days. You might want to keep your eyes and ears open. And another one would say, okay, and already know what herbs or whatever to gather for any kind of healing process. And there was another person, one of us, who laid hands on and could do actual healing that way. And the fourth one, I'm trying to remember, maybe, that was the sight, the herbs, the laying of hands, and the other one, gosh, I don't remember at this point. Sorry, you guys. It's pretty cool. Anyway, and she just gave me the most wonderful reading, and that was about 600 years before the time of Christ. And we lived in a village outside the village. We kind of lived outside in the rural of this village. And and ultimately we were tortured and put to death because of our beliefs, because our healing abilities. They thought it was evil, bad
The
juju,
devil,
whatever.
yeah.
And I think the other sister had crystals or something. That had to have been it. That's what keeps popping into my mind. Anyway, and so in this lifetime, she said it ties in because there are 4 of us. Oh, and she said at that time, the parents were pretty spiritual, very, very spiritual. But at one point, one of them, maybe both of them, got into the dark arts. And that's what wreaked havoc on the village, I guess. And so that's why they tortured and put us to death. So
Wow.
in this lifetime, there are 4 of us, and 3 of us, wow, at one point were really just kind of soaring in gathering spiritual knowledge, breaking away from Catholicism, and seemed to be seemingly on the same page on so many levels in the metaphysical world. One sister actually turned off and went to psychology, and she's just, I don't want to speak ill of her. So we don't speak anyway. the eldest sister and I are pretty close, and she's more into the alien side of things, you know, wants to know about extraterrestrials and our origins there. And at the same time, and then the fourth sister, actually, she's passed on now. She was born. There were many reasons. I don't have any idea. There was no real diagnosis for what I think she's an idiot savant, or was. I mean, she could describe any job, and you know, she couldn't even fill out an application because she couldn't spell. After however many years we've been alive, 2 years older than me, still couldn't spell my name. I get it. I don't care, but she give me the shirt off her back. I miss her. She's amazing. And however, yeah, you just there. I don't know what to say about Gina, but I miss her and I love her. Anyway, so it fit on many levels at the time. At the same time, you know, with the other, oh yeah, that's just about all I can say about that, I guess. It just seemed to fit me anyway. I don't know if any of these siblings are tied in this lifetime. However, my mother got into some dark stuff early on. She was into astrology a great deal, and I'm not considering that dark because I love it. And it's very much part of, you know, well, it has been a big part of my life. Anyway, point is, I'd come home from school and she's watching these really dark things like Dark Shadows. That was not something for a 5 or 6 or 7-year-old, 10-year-old to come home to. She just, yeah, my mom has passed on, and that's good. I think she was a walk-in, actually. When I was 15 months old, she was very depressed, and she got mad at my dad, and she put all of us in a car and went down the highway and ran head into a big semi. And she tried to kill herself and all of us kids. And it, of course, backfired. She was in a coma for 9 months. And I think that she left. I think there was a walk-in, and this walk-in just wreaked havoc. And I don't know. So I think, well, if we walk with our family, and did we know ahead of time? My oldest sister says, yes, I believe we knew ahead of time that this wreck was going to happen, and it was going to turn our lives upside down. And that was necessary. I don't know. I see it as the entities, the powers that be that want us dead, take out a light worker anywhere we can. It didn't work. So I'm still here. And my sister's still here. You know what I mean? The sister that passed away, she started having headaches years ago, and she would ignore it. And when they finally hospitalized her because she passed out, and her daughter and son checked on her, and anyway, they found a brain tumor in her brain. And as soon as it hit the oxygen, it spread out like tentacles on an octopus, just all the way through. There was no way to save her. And I wonder if something happened when she was born, or if she was born with that to make her a little odd, you know. Okay, enough about me. Yeah. So I thought those are interesting tidbits of past life information. I've never really done any past life regression. Again, you know, kind of curious, but I don't know if it's necessary. This life takes up a whole lot of my attention as it is. You know, I don't know.
Makes me think, you know, and thank you for sharing that.
Thank
It
you.
makes me think about, you know, how many people in this particular soul group of ours, our star family and soul group, how many of us were killed because we were into alchemy or whatever, but it was looked at as witchcraft.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
You know, trying to, you know, make medicine from the earth or whatever, you know, things that pagans might do, or, you know, but yet it was misunderstood. Oh, you know, they're using spells to create, which are only affirmations. I mean, for God's sake, basically.
Yeah, it's gratitude for what already is. Hello. I mean,
So-
I do remember being burned because I was seen as a witch
Yeah.
in a past life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I had nightmares about getting burned.
Mm-hmm.
And to get on top of it, I try to keep it rewind until I saw no matter what happened, the flames didn't touch me. Because I was scared for fire.
Wow. How do you feel about fire now? I mean, does that frighten you? Like, would you ever consider well, not now, but maybe if being a fireman, would that something that you ever thought of, like when you were growing up, or?
Yep.
Yeah.
And I ate any type of info, what to do when a fire occurs.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I had once that the flames went into the frying pan and up to the, how you call that thing on top of your stove? That pulls out the air.
The
Right.
fan or whatever
Yeah.
Yeah.
the fan.
So that went in the flames. And the only thing I could do was put a wet cloth and keep it there
Wow. Smart.
so that there would be no air coming in. And walked outside to see if there was no smoke. And there was nothing wrong, but yeah. I made sure I knew every ins and outs what you need to do.
That's good. Yeah,
And then I saw a movie, Tower Inferno. I was too scared to look at night. So I videotaped it. And in the morning, around 10 a.m., I watched it, hiding behind the couch every time and still looking until I watched it about, I think, 20 times. And I'm no longer fearful of that type of fire.
Good, good. I guess, maybe that was part of your challenge in this incarnation, was to overcome that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also a way my dad in spirit lets me know there's something wrong with an appliance. I hear either I smell some wood burning or plastic being, the smell of burning plastic.
Hmm.
And the first thing I do is walk over to the last appliance I've started. I put on. And if I smell anything that doesn't, I turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I'm right.
things like that scare me too. I mean, I tend to unplug all my appliances if I'm not going to use them, just because, other than like the TV or computer, it's just everything else is like I unplug it.
Well,
Don't have to
here
worry
in the
about it.
Netherlands, that type of, say, short circuiting is really good secured. So even if I touch the wire and ground myself, all lights are out and I have to walk over, and so that's secured.
Vera, I have to tell you, that picture in your green screen back there is so cute that when you sit a certain way, like now, it looks like you have a ponytail.
I know.
It's so cute.
That's true.
Yeah. One day I have a doggy back in my life.
Naughty boy.
Yeah. But it's pretty quiet at the moment. I even moved the guinea pigs to the bedroom, so I hear something.
Hmm.
So I can sleep.
Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up there. I want to thank everybody for joining us here on Zoom, as well as in the YouTube chat room. And if you're watching this on the recorded version, thanks for joining us there as well. And I just want everyone to know you are loved. You, everybody watching, you are loved. You are appreciated. And thank you all for your service to humanity. So on behalf of all these lovely beings that are joining me here in Zoom and everybody that's joined us in the live chat, I want to thank you all for being here and sending you all unlimited or forever unlimited love and light. Love you all so much. Take care, and we'll see you the next time.
Namaste, folks.
Namaste. Thanks,
Namaste.
everybody.
Namaste.
Oh yeah, and if you haven't already, check out that free MP3 past life regression link I put in the chat room. So it might trigger a past life for you guys tonight. Hopefully it will. And if it does, leave a comment below. Love you all. Good night.